Somehow, it all works out. Somehow, people say, how do you do it, sir? How do you do it? I get two questions. If you had it to do again, would you do it? Because, you know, in history, they say the president that was treated the worst was Abraham Lincoln, but he had the Civil War, you know, so he had a little Civil War going. Abraham Lincoln. And Jackson was treated very badly, and a couple of others were treated. Andrew Jackson, he was treated very badly, and a few others. And I haven't seen the new list, but if I'm not number one over Abraham Lincoln, I will be very disappointed, because I don't believe any president's ever been. And they do that because their policies can't work. This is the only way.
The fraud that they're perpetuating on the issue of the border. They want to make this a political issue. Consistently, they have wanted to make it. Ever since there were a few brave souls with that Gang of Eight. If we all remember those black and white movie days.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember that.
And ever since there, everyone, they just walk away, they run away. The first day he was in office, not the next day, the same day he gets sworn in, he puts out a comprehensive immigration plan. That was, and yet you didn't have a counter. They had no strategy in terms of the Republican Party, even combating that. They just wanted to kill it. They didn't want to debate it. They didn't want to engage. $14 billion proposal, $14 billion. That's his latest proposal to address their stated issue of border security. 2,300 new Border Patrol agents. Another 1,000 in addition to that to deal with fentanyl. Close to another $1 billion, $850+ million just for new technology. And then address some of the issues of backlog on asylum to address those that are here waiting.
Well, as Commander-in-Chief, I look at veterans completely differently than Donald Trump. Think about this, especially here in South Carolina, a proud military state. Donald Trump, when he was Commander-in-Chief, refused to visit a cemetery, U.S. cemetery outside of Paris for fallen American soldiers. And he referred to those heroes, and I quote, as suckers and losers. He actually said that. He said that. How dare he say that? How dare he talk about my son and all of us rest like that? Look, I call them patriots and heroes. The only loser I see is Donald Trump. It makes me angry.
I'd rather have no bill than a bad bill. A bad bill you can't have, and that's what was happening. In the House, as you know, the Speaker, who's, by the way, I think he's going to prove to be a very good speaker. It's tough when you have a very small majority. Very tough. Mike Johnson, Speaker, he just said it's dead on arrival in the House. It's dead on arrival. We want either a strong bill or no bill, and whatever happens, happens. But this is the single greatest threat to our country right now, is the people pouring into our country, because we have no...
And they have consistently voted against funding for border security. You can't make this stuff up. They say we don't need more money. We just need a president who follows the law. We hear that again and again. We heard that last night in the Rules Committee. Now, I hope that they're not implying that the former president, a rapist who was just ordered by a jury to pay $83 million for defaming his victim, I hope they're not saying that he follows the law. He's been indicted 4 times with 91 felony counts. I mean, this guy's been indicted more times than he's been elected. Give me a break. That's who's calling the shots around here?
Is the risk there? If he makes no more derogatory comments and just comments on this being an obscene amount of money and keeps it at that, then what?
I think that's okay. He can say, look, I think I shouldn't have lost. I think I'm being treated unfairly. Just he has to stop repeating the same things he said before and which he's lost again and again. And I think that's the other message behind this large verdict, is not just that he should stop insulting Jean Carroll, but he has to stop disrespecting the justice system. I think that's why the judge wouldn't let him testify. He only testified for, 3 minutes a few days ago.
Right.
Why he wasn't allowed to contest things is because by continuing to defy the court by saying these things, he's showing a fundamental disrespect for the justice system and for the views of his fellow citizens, the jurors. I mean, this is not a judge who's punishing him. This is a randomly selected jury of his peers.
But